So the second part of Invincible Season 2 is coming out today. Maybe by the time this video is posted, it would have already been out. But I'm here in this video to talk about some of the things to expect in this second part of this season, based on the trailers and of course where the story has reached in the comics. And I've even done a video about this before the trailers for Season 2 or even Season 2 began, months ago, which some of the things that I talked about may bleed into Season 3 and more. So you can check that video out, but this one is just strictly based on where we are right now in the story, both in the comics and in the recent trailers for the second part. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, after that whole fight crazy sequence and Omni-Man being taken away, Mark is going to stay, on the planet and recover, help rebuild everything. And then he's going to go back home with his brother, which has his own touchy reunion with his mother. The trailers also show the Guardians of the Globe against the Lizard League again. And this whole sequence ends in a bad way. That brings me to this point. There's going to be some major deaths this second part, as the trailer even shows, the team at a funeral. I don't want to spoil that, but you can check and see the character that is missing. Next, there are some new characters that are going to show up in the second part, some that are super important to the story, others that are just supporting or even background superheroes that they are introducing. Now at the end of the first part, Nolan, when being taken away, told Mark to read his books. They even teased it at the ending when Deborah now trying to move on, puts Nolan's books on the driveway, now trying to get rid of them. One of the books was titled The Man with the Invisible Gun, which is a very true story. It's about a guy who was a gun that can penetrate through anything. Yes, even the Viltrumite, it can kill anything. We did see that person in a shot in the trailer, which, they're going to have to recruit him to actually help with the Viltrumite fight. Now again, there is a new character that the trailer teased. Quick shots here and there that they showed that comic book readers will right away just pick up on and know that this character is Anissa, one of the most hated characters in the Invincible comics because of what she did to Mark, which I'm not sure whether they are going to show that this, second part in this second season. But I do know that we are going to get, their first encounter with each other and fight as we see it teased in the trailer. But long story short, she taped Invincible. Yes, which is one of the most surprising and shocking scenes in comics, period, because it rarely happens, especially when it's even a female doing it to a male, which now that I think about when it happens in the story in the comics, I don't think it's going to happen this season. This is going to be their first meeting, and then this awful sequence is going to happen maybe in season 3. Even season 3 I'm doubtful, maybe season 4, season 5. There's also a new character, Conquest, which I don't know whether they're going to show him in the second part. Maybe tease him, during the ending, going into season 3, because their encounter and fight is such a big deal. I can't underestimate how huge that their fight is and the things that happen. So I think they will save it for season 3 and maybe tease it at the end of this second part. Next is the sea squids actually returning in a very big way. Those alien-like squids that were introduced in season 1 when Mark went to Mars, and when they come into contact with you, they take over your body. At the end of that episode 4 in season 1, we saw that, one had taken over the astronaut, and one of the Martians had actually replaced that astronaut, and that sea squid actually took over Mars. And this second part trailer shows it's coming to Earth, and it's going to take over. So Invincible and the rest are going to have to fight this huge problem, which is going to be very intense. The trailer even shows even Adam, Eve and Robot being taken over. Now, the trailer also showed Alan versus Immortal, which is shocking for non-comic book readers because last time they saw him, he was actually, critically injured and seemingly being killed by Thanos. But that was a misdirection. He was only helping him. And so he heals up and comes back stronger at the power level of a Viltrumite. And the scene where he's fighting Immortal is where he comes to Earth to actually, visit Mark. And of course, Immortal, not knowing him, sees him as a threat and attacks him. And Mark comes later on to actually break up the fight. There's also a shot in the trailer where Nolan is being interrogated, and that whole sequence, I think maybe this, second part, we're gonna get, Alan and Nolan's, bromance. Now in the comics, Alan, gets himself purposely captured and taken to the ship where Nolan is, and that is where, they strike up a conversation. He tells him he knows his son and all that, and later on they combine strength and break out. I feel like it's tricky. It may happen at the end of this season, this second part, or maybe tease it for season 3. There's also a blanket or message shot of Invincible wearing a cape, his yellow costume but with a cape. That is teasing a multiversal story for season 3. May happen at the last episode of this part 2. That major story is the Invincible War arc, which, as we see in the trailer, Anstrom-Levy traveling between dimensions, and he goes in each dimension recruiting different Invincibles, different Marco Graysons, who are all bad, and of course brings them to our Invincible's Earth, to cause mayhem, to tarnish Invincible's name, make him the villain, destroy his life, and of course at the end kill him. This major arc, I think, is going to be the overall arcing story in season 3 and teased in episode 8 of this second part. Now, the trailer also teases Invincible versus Anstrom-Levy, their very first fight, which was truly insane with the number of dimensions Mark was going through just trying to get to Anstrom and his family. Yes, Anstrom-Levy took his mother and his brother as hostages during this first fight. And in this fight is where we get some crossovers with Spider-Man and Batman. I don't know what is going to happen. They're going to do it. It may or may not happen. All you have to do is get the rights and permission to use these characters, for just a tiny bit. But it also depends on these big companies to accept them. So it's a 50-50 chance. But I know fans will be very happy to see that. Anyways, this is what to expect in the second part to season 2. New characters, tons of new fights and foes and obstacles, and more challenges for Mark. As I said before, I did make a video on this before season 2 even came out, before even the trailers, which I talked extensively about, which after watching the first part and seeing the second part, the trailer, I feel like I over talked. Like I talked about things that may happen in season 4. Yeah. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this and how excited are you for this second part. By the time this video comes out, maybe may already have been out. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, that's help the video and the channel out. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell not to miss any new video as well. As always, Neddy Sage here. See you guys in the next one.